What's going on, Hey, y'all. It's your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another Riverdale. Hold on, I got to sneeze one more time. Hold up. All right, I'm back, girl. This is the Improv Live, girl, coming to you loud, live, and in color. I had told myself, I said, you know what? I need to stop only doing content in the daytime. I need to honestly just do content at any point in time, girl, because I got supporters on various time zones, Central, Pacific, Eastern, all over the world, London, Paris, Germany, girl. And, anytime that I'm just moved and inspired, it's just when I'm moved and inspired. So, this is why you need to have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be kinging. All right. So shout out to all of my vamps who in the building, and somewhere it is morning time for somebody, child. All right. So y'all already know what we're here to get into. This ain't going to be a super long live, but I definitely wanted to touch on this because one of the street committee members had sent this to me earlier, and I was sitting around and I had checked it out. And I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. So before we go ahead and get into this evening's commentary, go ahead and give me an ordinary piece of thumbs up. You guys know the thumbing up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you guys are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another conscious crew member and telling them to get their arses into the sanctuary. All right. Shout out to all of the new subbies. Girl, I'm so glad that we bust up out of that 45K, girl. I was in that 45K for a minute, honey. So it feels good to be traveling and on the way again to growth, honey. I am so happy forward, girl. I done found some little secrets to do now. Baby. So shout out to all of the new subbies. Also, make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all so that you never miss a day or hour when the king is in fact kinging. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your MySpace, your Twitter, your Tumblr, the dark side of your the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're loud, live, and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through Okra.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It is a lot going on, y'all. It is a lot going on in the queendom, child. Y'all know we had the presidential debate, girl. They are saying, I did watch it, and baby, the general consensus is that Sleepy Joe Biden, girl, got cooked, got roasted, got fried, got baked, got sauteed, baby. Okay, Trump had to ran circles around his ass. However, regardless of whether Joe Biden needs a scooter, an electric scooter, girl, or a wheelchair at this point, some people are still committing to voting for his ass and will vote for a damn potato before they ever vote for Trump, girl. All right. Also, apparently, Megan Thee Stallion's album came out like an hour ago, you guys, and I am so excited to go and listen to this more than likely amazing body of work, because I enjoyed Megan Thee Stallion's last project and she slayed, and it was about an album that I could listen to from front to back without even having to skip a track, girl. So I'm excited to see what she got up her sleeve. Are you guys excited for Megan's album, girl? Then y'all know Ice No Spice is coming, bitch. Okay, I'm excited for her shit too, girl, because I live for Ice Spice music, girl. Okay, I was invited to the party, but I like her now. Okay, after she hadn't been forced on us. So I'm super excited. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. I love me some Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, I love her, and I love that we just have all this female rap music. I'm so glad that we have other options aside from Nicki Minaj, girl. Okay, I'm just glad. So I'm just happy for the Megans, for the Ice Spices, for the Cardis, for the Glorillas girl, the Erica Banks girl, all the girls, the Asian dolls, the dolls girl, everybody. So I'm excited. Anyway, let me speak to some of you guys coming into the building. Hey, Queen B More. Hey, Nicole. What's going on? Okay, getting out. We're together for vacation on period. And got to slow it down, baby, because them back shots going to be like a mother, baby. Okay, so slow it down good, Queen B More. What's going on, Deanna? What's going on, Latitia? What's going on, Darren J? Hey, Darian. What's going on, Lady Jade? Hey, Whitney. What's going on, y'all? Hey, Stranger Things. What's going on, Gabriella? Hey, Keeney. What's going on? Hey, y'all. I was listening to it before you went live. I love her down. I don't care if Biden falls asleep. I would never, ever, ever both of them. Period. What's going on, Deshaun? It's a good album, y'all. Ooh, yes, yeah. Yes, Queen B More. Please get all the pain for all of us, baby. Okay? Throw it back on them for me too, girl. In the name of the Father, Son, and CTV, baby. Get in the glory. All right? So let's go ahead and get into this commentary, girl. It's a lot going on, all right? I don't know if you guys have heard, but you guys know Victoria Monet, honey. I get it from my on my hood. I look fly. I look too good, okay? Girl, she's in that manifesting energy, girl. And not only is she manifesting some epic ass visuals, you guys know that they are comparing Victoria at this point, girl, to Janet Jackson, honey, who she just tributed in one of her music videos, honey. She's just coming through with the stylism, with the choreography, with the fashion, honey. Victoria is doing it well. In her manifestation, she done manifested a reunion between her and her father, which she took to the internet, okay, to let us in on that moment. Well, that moment was quickly seized, apparently, by Victoria's half-sister. Is it Zhanae? Who had no idea that she had a half-sister and that half-sister was global superstar Victoria, and she had some choice words for their father, aka deadbeat, because she hasn't even seen this ninja in 20 years, and she's 23 years old. So she hasn't even seen this man since she was a child, and she doesn't even really remember him. So we're going to get into her tweet. Then we're going to get into her TikTok, because I think after her tweet, she went to her TikTok to expound upon some more things. And then we're going to get into our discussion of it all, okay? So according to Vibe.com, shout out to Vibe, woman who claims to be Victoria Monet's half-sister after singer shares Father's Day reunion. The past Father's Day was a special one for Victoria Monet. For the first time, she spent Father's Day with her estranged dad. However, one of his alleged other children has come forward with her own story about his absentee ways. On Wednesday, June 26, a woman named Zhanae took to Twitter claiming that she and the On My Mama singer have the same dad in response to the latter's post on reuniting with her father. Her alleged half-sister wrote, quote, "I'm glad you got a chance to meet him finally. I'm 23 and haven't seen him 20 years of my life, and he's never bothered to reach out to me. Wow, Anthony Dedamore, or however you spell it. So Victoria Monet is my half-sister, question mark." Zhanae later took to TikTok to tell people how small this world is and explained that her mother was the one who shared Monet's post with her. She detailed how she was raised by her stepfather and hadn't seen her biological father, Anthony, since she was a toddler. Quote, "When I saw him at age 3, it was only for 20 minutes, said Zhanae. Never heard from him on a birthday, never heard from him on a holiday. I never heard from him, period." She shared how since they didn't have a relationship, she was only privy to the existence of a college-age sister. Her emotional rant was aimed at her deadbeat father as she continued, quote, "How are you even comfortable knowing you still have a kid that you never even bothered to meet? I'm really happy that Victoria got the chance to meet him because I never did. My only question for him is, what did I ever do for you to not want to be in my life? The Grammy winner has always been vocal about being raised by her single mother and grandmother. On Father's Day in 2018, Monet tweeted, "Happy Father's Day to these two. When my mama had to make hard decisions to leave and work 3 jobs to afford her education, she left me with grandma, rest in peace. With the amount of love, nurturing, and discipline they taught, gentle titles don't matter. They deserve applause every minute." The caption was paired with a photo from Monet's childhood as she's being held by the women who raised her. Not too long ago, she opened up about how her father, during a sit down with Kelly Rowland for Rolling Stone. Tearfully, the Jaguar 2 singer shared, quote, "One of the reasons I wanted to be as successful as I could be was because I had this weird feeling or want that I would be so famous and I would be on TV and he would recognize my face and see me and be like, oh my God, that's my girl." Monet attempted to find her father through the phone book, but eventually found him on Facebook. "We met, and at first he was just so surprised to hear from me, and he rejected it for a while. So my first experience wasn't ideal, but we got there," she recalled, admitting that she felt giddy and nervous before they reconnected in person and felt that having her own daughter would give him a second chance at being present in her life. Some fans felt Zhanae's approach was out of line, but most people offered sympathy to both women. Author Candice Mary Benbow tweeted, quote, "Victoria Monet having her first Father's Day with her dad this year and having another daughter he abandoned witness their reunion online is wild and incredibly sad. I wish absentee parents were shamed more than they are." Political commentator Gabrielle Perry also chimed in, commenting, "Wow, Victoria Monet's dad ghosting all his children all their lives and only reaching out to Victoria Monet of all of them because she's rich and famous now, and the other kids finding out via Twitter is just so typical of awful men. Deadbeat dads are worthless." Vibe reached out to Victoria Monet for a comment. She has yet to respond to the claim of Zhanae being her half sister. Another user wrote, "Folks being rude to this woman instead of the ghosting father, when Victoria Monet literally had to track this man herself." All right. Wow. So there's a lot of information there, girl. Now, what I'm going to do is share her tweet from her Twitter, also known as Miss X. Okay. This is that tweet from Twitter. All right. As you guys can see here, "I'm glad you got a chance to meet him finally. I'm 23 and haven't seen him 20 years of my life, and he's never bothered to reach out to me. Wow, Anthony Dedamore, or however you spell it. So Victoria is my half sister." Tearful emoji, okay? And this is a post from Victoria Monet's Twitter, "Spending our first Father Day together ever. A real blessing. The little girl in me is so happy and healing." Monet looks like a little girl. She looks like she's straight up out of high school, getting off the bus, running into the arms of her dad. I mean, look at the peacefulness and the completion and the whole circledness. That is just all in her mannerisms, all in her body language, all in her posture. I mean, she's closing her eyes and really savoring the flavor. This is a moment that she's been waiting on, obviously, for a very, very, very long time. All right. Matter of fact, let me go to Victoria Monet's Twitter and see what she got going on over here. Okay, posting music. That's the Jaguar Honey on period. Showing some rehearsals and some merchandise. She did tweet after the initial Father's Day tweet with surprise, giving the tribe early access to merchandise on Monday today. Sign up to get early access before it drops at 12 p.m. This is also that initial Father's Day post. All right. A real blessing. Okay, now we're going to go over to Miss Twitter, and we're going to listen to Zhanae, the alleged half-sister of Victoria, speak about her feelings. etc. girl, and how she learned of this whole thing. So let me go ahead and change my microphone so you guys can hear this. All right, let's check this out. Hold on, I'm gonna have to restart this.
So yeah, I was asleep and I woke up with a missed call from my mom. So of course I called her back. And when I called her back, she sent me this picture that I'm about to show y'all. But before I show y'all the picture, I'm gonna give y'all a backstory first. So I'm 23 years old, and I was basically raised by my stepdad, who is my brother and sister dad. So my brother and sister, we have the same mom. Their dad raised me. You get what I'm saying? So I have never seen my biological father since I was like maybe 3 years old. And when I saw him when I was like 3 years old, it was only for like 20 minutes. Never heard from him on a birthday. Never heard from him on a holiday. I never heard from him, period. So then my mom sends me this picture. So y'all, this is the picture that was sent to me. And basically, that man right there is my biological father. And so y'all, growing up, like, of course, he was never in my life. So I only knew about one other sister that I had. Her name was Delaney, and she was in college. So y'all, on Father's Day, Victoria Monet, she drops this picture and it says, spending our first Father's Day together ever, a real blessing. The little girl in me is so happy, healing. And for the ones that don't know, Victoria Monet, she sings this song.
Hey, 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 hey. Hey, I look too good looking on my own mama. Hey,
when she said she
hey, that's my shit, baby.
She ain't lie. And to the man in the picture, Anthony Dedamore,
No, she ain't lie.
Like, how are you even comfortable knowing that you still have a kid out here that you've never even bothered to meet, never even bothered to see me, check on me, nothing? And not only that, so basically, Victoria Monet is my half sister. Like, y'all, this is a really small world, and I'm honestly glad that she got a chance to meet him, because I never did. I'm glad she finally got a chance to spend time with him. But to him, Anthony Dedamore, you will never receive your full blessings because you still have a kid out here that you don't take care of. Like, you can't take care of one kid and you got 6. You can't take care of 3 kids, but you got 8. Like, what the hell is really going on? And y'all, I'm not saying that we look completely alike, but we definitely got the same nose. Like, we definitely have that nose. And y'all, the only question that I have for him is, what did I ever do to you for you not to be in my life? Like, what did I do? So y'all, this is what I went under her Twitter and I said, I'm glad you got a chance to meet him finally. I'm 23 and I haven't seen him in 20 years of my life. And he's never bothered to reach out to me. Wow, Anthony Dedamore, or however you spell it. So Victoria Monet is my half sister. And y'all, honestly, I'm not even looking for him to be in my life. I'm not looking for him to take care of me. I just want one answer to one question. What did I ever do for you not to be in my life? So y'all, repost this video because I need answers.
Okay, so that was Zhanae, honey, the alleged half-sister of Victoria Monet. Or Monet, or whatever the hell it is today, okay? I just know I love her. It's a lot going on in this situation. Matter of fact, what I also would like to do is I would like to go to the comment section because there is a war within the supporters, because there are some people who are arguing that Zhanae has infringed upon Victoria's moment, and that she should have went about this a little differently. It was selfish. This was Victoria's moment, and the other people who are arguing that Zhanae has every reason to feel however she want to feel and to have definitely spoke out, etc. So it's a lot going on. This post is courtesy of the Jasmine brand. And some of the comments are, everyone who ain't his kid need to shut the hell up. Okay. Someone else says, I believe her. Even his body language with Victoria looks is half-hearted. Could be the star factor that even got him this involved. Someone else says, I know you can't tell people what to do with their trauma. I just know if I were a famous celeb or rich, I'd seek therapy to heal, but not allow the deadbeat back in my life. It seems opportunistic, and given that this man allegedly has like 7 to 8 other kids, some are all saying they haven't seen him in years. It's very evident to me what is happening. That's a shame. Someone else says, must have been a side piece, baby. Someone else says, Someone else says, isn't that obvious, though? Someone else says she has every right to feel how she feels. Who is Victoria Monet? Okay, so it's a lot going on. Hey, food expert. Hey, y'all. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Blue. Chanel. You have to check Victoria's song, F-U-C-K. Okay, let me read the lyrics because I'm not going to play the music. Let me read the lyrics. Victoria Monet. F-U-C-K lyrics. All right, let's see here. I will be dropping the link so that you guys chime in. The lyrics read, is your favorite color blue because you're something like my kryptonite. I think I want you to maybe meet me at my kryptonite. Might not be the one, but I'm definitely the prototype. Let's go down and get it on the floor. Want to be a friend? You hold on. Why you said that? Are you saying it's just a cute song? Or does the song have anything to do with what we talking about here? Because if it ain't got nothing to do with the story, I ain't gonna power through these lyrics. This sound like a freak off song, honey. Oh yeah, this is a freak off song. Okay, but I will check it out if it's a good joint. Okay. All right. So it's a lot going on here. First of all, what we learned from the intel is that he's not the one necessarily being opportunistic here. Victoria Monet had to track his ass down. Even as famous and as rich and as successful as she is, she had to run him down and found him on Facebook. And even when she found him on Facebook, according to her interview, he was still apprehensive to meet her. It took time, even after they started communicating via text, via DM, for them to finally meet in person. All right. She also expressed that, she's always wanted to know her father. And she, Victoria, herself, has been able to forgive her father for failing her, but would like her daughter to have an opportunity to have a grandfather in her life. And that's okay for Victoria. Victoria does not have some moral obligation to be angry at her dad. She doesn't have some moral obligation to be upset at him, to drag this out. She doesn't have no moral obligation to sit in any type of feelings that she don't want to sit in. She knows what her agenda and her motivation is, which is, I want to find this man. I want to have some type of a relationship to him, and I want him to be in my daughter's life, on period. Same thing for the half-sister, Zhanae. She has every reason to feel upset. She has every reason to feel triggered. She has every reason to feel abandoned because she has been abandoned. She has every reason to be shocked that she has another half-sibling, and is shocked to know that one of her own is a literal superstar, and she is wondering why she, was abandoned and why she wasn't worth him having a relationship to, etc. Now, it does not seem to me that Zhanae is aware that the dad is making some exception for Victoria. Victoria had to fight to get this hug and to get to this place with him. She pursued this relationship to her dad. It's not like he came out of the woodworks and just jumped out of the window and just saw the piggy bank and just came busting through the door. for Victoria because of who she is and what she has accomplished. But I stand behind all of Zhanae's feelings. I mean, it's horrendous. You know, I had my own family situation is very interesting because I have a stepfather who was in my life from birth, because him and my mother was already together and had already been together for years. When I came into the world, there was a moment where my stepdad and my mom had broke up for a while, and during that time my mom started dating my biological father and got pregnant with me in that relationship. And then that relationship didn't work out to my dad, so then her and my stepfather ended up getting back together. And then my biological father stayed around until I was like 13. I was very close to his mother, my grandmother. She was like a second mother to me. And shortly after her death, he and I stayed in contact for a little bit. And then eventually that relationship kind of fizzled out. Now for me, I don't have any interest in having a relationship to my biological father. I had an opportunity to reconnect to him a few years ago. He actually called me due to a conversation I was having with one of my cousins on my father's side. I guess she took that conversation back to him, and then she gave him my number. I was in the middle of having something better else to do than talk to him, so I told him I would call him back. I never called him back, and I'm not mad. I'm just indifferent, and I'm just indifferent. I don't really see a point in wasting time to get to know him per se. I feel like if he was interested in being a dad and being a father, then that's what he would have been. And I'm somebody who reads the room. I'm the one who can take a hint. So I don't press on no relationship that ain't pressing on me. So when I bounced, I bounced. And I've been good on it since. And I don't bad talk him. No negative feelings come up when I, have to talk about him. It's almost like talking about a stranger. Like, I know he exists and I know he's there and I have memories of him. But I felt like we never really bonded, even though he was in my life for a time. But I never really felt like I really bonded with him, even when we were having an active relationship. And I don't know if that's because my stepfather was so there. So I also felt like I had a dad already. I really wasn't missing out on any love, because I did have a male figure. I had a father figure in my life. So maybe that helped to restream and transmute a lot of the feelings that might have turned into bitterness and might have turned into anger and might have turned into a void and might have turned into all these things. But having a stepdad there during my relationship to my biological father and after my biological father might have helped to really just keep me on track and just keep me moving forward, because I wasn't able to miss a beat, because I still had access to a nuclear unit and have both masculine and feminine in my life. So, everybody's different in terms of how they deal with these type of situations. I feel like Zhanae is not calling out Victoria Monet per se. Her smoke is with their dad, and that's who she got the questions for. She expressed that she's happy that Victoria is able to have this moment. And she also is somebody that wanted her dad around and wanted her dad in her life. And she's wondering why he just didn't care to be in her life, or maybe even be in the life of the rest of their damn siblings. And that's that. I don't really have a judgment, for the people who are screaming like, girl, she infringed upon Victoria's moment, etc. She could have DM Victoria or just have you know, she could have just did it differently, etc. It was like, look, it got put on social media. She took to social media. I also don't know how I feel about the dad per se, because I don't know what's going on, right? Like, this is Zhanae's half sister. I, like somebody said earlier, girl, I don't know whether this was a sneaky link situation. I don't know what the circumstances were around these people having babies with this damn man. I don't know whether he's mentally ill. I don't know if he was a side. I don't know what the situation. I don't know enough about what's going on with the daddy and his baby mamas and why shit looked the way that it looks. I ain't hearing nothing about nobody collecting child support. I don't know if that means that these women were cheating on who they was with. I don't know what the hell going on. Okay. However, what I will say is that if he was aware that he was getting people pregnant, and he was aware that children were coming forth, regardless of what the situation is, he definitely had a paternal responsibility to take care of his children and to be in their lives materially and emotionally and physically. Why he didn't do that, I don't fucking know. Whether he is just a gigolo and he was a playboy back in his day and he was just running through them. No shade to the baby mamas. I don't know. But if he knew these children were in the world and that they were his and that he was getting these women pregnant, this is a shame to have this many children in the world and not have played any significant role in their life. Was literally just pumping and dumping and pumping and dumping. But you know, so funny too, in a strange way. Sometimes I feel like things also, even though things hurt, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, sometimes the things that hurt also are the lesser of the two evils. Could you imagine what it looks like with somebody like forcing themselves to do something that they don't want to do? I've also seen so many times parents who don't want to be parents out of a legal responsibility, out of a social responsibility, still try to extend themselves to their kids or be involved reasonably. But because they really don't want to be there, while the parents are present, they are completely emotionally unavailable. And guess what that does? It leads to the same scarring that their absence would lead to. So there's really no cutting down the middle. And so sometimes I'm like, I recognize the pain of the children who have parents who don't want them, have a mother or a father who don't want them. But at the same time, I also don't believe in forcing kids to be in the lives of people that don't love them, because we're hearing a lot of horror stories of these type of parents murdering their children because they don't love their babies. They don't love their daughters and their sons. They throw them out of moving vehicles. They smother them. They will use the children as collateral damage. Do y'all remember that horror story I think came out last year or year before last, where that man literally called the mother of his child on speakerphone? I forgot why he was upset at his baby mama. He was in the car and had their minor daughter in the front seat, and he was strangling this child while the mother was on speakerphone pleading for him to stop. what he was doing to their child. I think, matter of fact, I think he had her on FaceTime while he was in the car driving and at the same time strangling their daughter to death. So while it is super tragic to be abandoned and rejected, let me see if I can find that story. At the same time, I'm also just as terrified what it looks like when these type of parents are seemingly pressured and forced to be in the life of children that they clearly, by way of their actions, don't want a goddamn thing to do with. Because if I was in this position as a parent, me knowing what I know, and me also knowing that if you're not going to love our child, you essentially are abandoning them. It doesn't matter if you're physically present or not. It doesn't matter if you take them up every other weekend. When you have not given your heart to your kids, they end up just as traumatized as if you weren't there at all, because you are not there. You're just a shell of a person. You're just taking up space. You know, love is very energetic, and it expresses itself through the nuance of passion, of optimizing on time together, not just picking you up, taking you back to the house, putting you in front of a TV and feeding you every day and doing the bare minimum. Even if children don't know exactly what's missing, they can feel it. Even if they can't articulate what's missing from the relationship, even if they don't have the vocabulary to express why they still feel like dad or mom is far away, even though dad and mom is right here, they nonetheless still experience an absence of something. And what it is an absence of is availability. Mental availability, spiritual availability, and emotional availability, even if your body is available. So it's still just not enough to be involved in a shallow sense. You really have to want it. And you have to love your offspring for that love to do what it's designed to do in the parent to child dynamic. Let me see. Man unalives daughter while on FaceTime. Let me see. This is the story. Daddy already choked daughter too. Yep. While on FaceTime with girl's mom. Yep, here it is. Okay, let me show y'all this. This is from people.com. Texas dad allegedly choked 2-year-old daughter while on FaceTime with girl's mom. A 25-year-old Texas man is accusing of unaliving his 2-year-old daughter during a police chase while he was on FaceTime call with the girl's mother. On Monday morning, DeAndre Flanagan picked up his daughter, Zavea Flanagan, from her daycare. Then he went to Walmart where Zavea's mother worked and allegedly demanded to see her cell phone. KRPC2 reports citing court docs. Once she gave him the cell phone, he allegedly hit her multiple times, then fled with Zavea in a vehicle. A police chase ensued. Eventually, Zavea's mother, who was identified by ABC 13 as Kirsten Watson, made contact with Flanagan on FaceTime while using the phone of Zavea's granddaughter, who was also working at Walmart, according to the outlet. However, Flanagan allegedly grew angry after he asked for the cell phone password but didn't receive it. The court documents allege Flanagan then started hitting and choking Zavea while Watson was still on FaceTime and watching the attack on her daughter, KRPC2 reports. The court documents allege that after Flanagan and Watson ended the call, he then called his stepfather and said Zavea was gone. According to KFYR TV, the police pursuit lasted for 45 minutes. Once Flanagan was apprehended, Zavea was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced unalived. And this is the thing. That's why I said earlier, I don't know what this man's problem is. I don't know whether this, in terms of Victoria and Zhanae, I don't know whether this man is mentally ill, what type of issues he got, but all we know is that he didn't want his damn kids. And it's fucked up that they had to inherit a situation like this, because kids don't deserve this. They don't deserve to be the byproduct of fantasy, or the byproduct of unprotected sex, or the byproduct of just irresponsibility, or the byproduct of trying to keep a partner in your life. So you think that by getting yourself pregnant or getting somebody pregnant is a way to keep the person. Kids only deserve to come into this world intentionally. They only deserve to come into this world by people who want to raise children, who want to bring souls into this world and give them a wonderful life. And no other reason. They don't deserve to be the product of your loneliness. They shouldn't be the product of you trying to fill a void. They shouldn't be the product of a midlife crisis. They should not be the product of nothing else other than a desire to want to bring another soul into this world and put them on the path that that soul feels called to. And sometimes the lesser of the two evils is, yes, my father or my mother wasn't in my life, but I also have no idea what the hell the universe kept me from. I have no idea what the hell spirit protected me from. And you have to give yourself an opportunity to leave room for that, because you might not even have been here and even have been able to get to this point had this person been in your life. What I want to say to Zhanae, who has said, I just have one question. Why weren't you in my life? Zhanae, if you get a chance to hear this, boo, I want you to understand that you ain't got nothing to do with why that man don't want to be in your life. That man not wanting to be in your life is not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of your self-worth. It's not a reflection of your significance. That man not wanting to be in your whole life and having no interest in pursuing a relationship and taking care of you don't got nothing to do with you. Don't you do that to yourself. Don't internalize his behavior and make his behavior about you. Don't allow his behavior to have something to do or anything to do with your self-esteem. Don't allow his actions to have some connection to your sense of self and self-worth. Allow his actions to be his. Okay? Like so many abandoned kids and so many individuals who have father fractures and mommy fractures, oftentimes the result is the kid emotionally self-mutilates and takes on that rejection that turns into shame, turns into low self-esteem. Don't do that to yourself, boo. He ain't worth it. And what I have to say to Victoria Monet is, girl, I hope you have really appropriated your expectations, because you're seemingly trying to do this in the name of wanting your daughter to have a grandfather, but everything I just said applies. I get very scared for y'all when y'all be wanting to force these people who don't want these responsibilities on to your kids in the name of love, in the name of what my child deserves, in the name of da 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 da, because to hell with what the child deserves. It's more so about what condition is the person you want to be in their life in. Because the biggest telltale sign here is a motherfucker not making any effort and expressing no damn desire to be in nobody's life. And once again, as sad as a reality as that is, baby, that's a lot closer to truth. And it's a truth that should be adhered to, because God only knows what hell and what unforgivable reality you might be introducing into your own life and into your children's life by trying to force somebody to want their asses and to care for their asses and to love their asses who don't, in fact, love them. Since this man has already not been interested in the 8 kids he have, I highly, highly, highly doubt that he'll have any genuine interest in being a damn grandfather to any of the damn children that his own children has had. And he might play it safe with Victoria because she is a public figure, and he know now that there's a spotlight on his ass. So he may play well. He may try to even superficially stay around because he don't want to risk Victoria ass giving him no bad publicity, since she has a humongous platform to do that on. But on the other hand, Victoria also may have just broken some generational curses. And maybe it took her fighting for this and getting to this place with him to bring about some much necessary course correction. Because maybe this is where the change starts. It's with Victoria. And it does seem like it's more so her persistence and consistency in pursuing him that led to this, more than it being about who she is and what she got. And maybe she's anointed, and maybe this will be the beginning of him doing what he's supposed to do as a dad to all of his kids and being in his grandchildren's life, etc. Time will tell in how the pendulum swings. But you know, I just pray that these young people who have grown up to not have their dad are able to give themselves a closure. You don't need closure from him. You can give that to yourself, and I hope they give that to themselves. Let me read the comments. Teresa says her team ain't going for that. They side-eyed him right now. Why she wants to put her daughter through that is dangerous and stupid to me. It's because she's not thinking about the dark side of it. She's thinking about what there is to gain, which is closing the family gap, having a relationship to that part of her family, to that part of her identity, and making sure that her daughter has access as well to that side of their DNA. So she's all hopes and wishes, but I mean, there is a potential danger there as well, but she would have to just use her own discernment, to navigate this. Fifi says you can't make a man be something they didn't want to be. That's how the kids get hurt. Absolutely. Nicole says that story makes me wonder, why are these many demonic spirits among running rampant? Children don't ask to be here. That poor baby deserves so much better. And you know what, Nicole? It's because sex is not regulated. Anybody can have it, and anybody with a working reproductive system, can bring a child into the world. And because the childbearing and child producing is not regulated, you don't have to get no certificate. You don't have to pass no psych, evaluation. You don't have to go through any rite of passage per se to be a parent and to reproduce. You can be a teen mom, a teen dad, because it's a free-for-all. This definitely is what leads to a lot of the buffoonery that children inherit in terms of their environmental realities. The police should be held responsible. Also, She needs to see that as a blessing. Fifi says the police was around the car and saw him on the video. They rushed in after the child stopped moving. That's a mess. Wow, I didn't even know that. Moda Culture says it's a story now recently where a black dude powed his baby mama. Then he took their 2-year-old son, drove to a lake, and threw him in an alligator-infested lake. I think I remember that. Didn't they find the body in the alligator or something? If I remember correctly, I think I recalled. And let me tell you, it's horrific, man. It is horrific. Even that story earlier this year where the astrologer took her life and took her fiance's life. She powed her fiance or husband, whatever he was, and then she drove. She put the kids in the SUV and then threw them out of a speeding SUV. I think it was the daughter and the newborn. The newborn lost his life because when she threw both of the kids out of the speeding SUV, the daughter who was holding her sister obviously lost grip of the child as she was hitting the concrete, and then the baby, got hit by other vehicles on the interstate. The oldest daughter ended up surviving the ordeal, but the baby unfortunately lost their life. The husband, fiance lost his life, and then she drove herself to her death by driving at a high speed into a tree and unaliving herself, girl. A mess. When a man says he doesn't want kids, don't lay down with him on period. And definitely don't force your damn kids on him. You can still force the government to to make him submit his financial contribution to the care of the kids, but definitely don't force them kids to physically be around nobody who ain't demonstrating a desire to. I am adamantly against that. Because I just don't believe in putting your kids in the custody and in the care of people who don't give a fuck about them. I don't give a damn if they are the parent. If that parent don't want to be a damn parent, it's an act of love to not push your child in or push that parent on their child. He wanted to hurt the mother and did. That is the vibration of that fool in that movie, Tyler Perry, 4 Colored Girls. He dropped his 2 kids out of the window of a 6-story building. Yep. Selfishness is at an all-time high. I've noticed across the board. The story I remember, and it was heartbreaking, just beyond comprehension why the other father would do that. He was a 5150. I just don't understand such selfish behavior. My dad is kind of like this. He's present, but not really. That's why I don't think men should become fathers at a young age. They become resentful because they couldn't live in their younger years, says Whitney. It's even worse in my opinion, says Motor Culture. It's better to stay away if you're not going to be all in on period. On period. Queen B Moore says people out here creating soul ties with the wrong people and demons without even knowing who they really are. Yep. Fifi says, did they ever say why she did that? Apparently she just was very paranoid about the eclipse. She was feeling like horrible times are coming, and she was feeling like these are dire times. And they had put up some of her tweets and stuff prior to the whole ordeal, child, and she was just on this kind of like doomsday, apocalyptic type of talk, like the end of days. Y'all better choose what side y'all on. Y'all better choose who y'all serve today. And it just kind of had this like mark of the beast, don't fall for it. F the system. And it seems like she made a very radical decision by thinking she was doing her family a favor by seeking death to escape what she thought was a corrupted system. And she thought that was liberating. She was schizophrenic, I bet. I'm sure. The eclipse, yep. Honey, I ain't forcing my kids on their bio dad, and we married, and he is the pappy. If he wants to do for them, great. If not, okay, on period. On period. And this is why selective breeding is necessary. But this is also, even beyond that, why it's so important to just be clear as a parent, whether you want to be a father or you want to be a mother, to really make sure you have all your cards in the deck. You have to be prepared for infinite possibility. You have to be prepared to have a child under what seems to be loving circumstances right now. And then also imagine, what I still want to do this and want this responsibility if my partner was to walk away, or my partner was to die, or da 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 da. You want to make sure that your reasons for wanting to be a parent are revolving around the child, because if your reasons to want to be a parent revolve around everything else but the damn child, the child can end up in these situations where they are being abandoned, they're being emotionally neglected, they're being unalived. Because if you are having children for the sake of, I'm in love with my partner, we want to grow our family, and this is just a part of my fantasy, and then you didn't consider how you would be impacted if that fantasy fell apart and you were left just with your children, or you would, and your wife left, your husband left. I mean, you have to really think about what that looks like now. And you have to leave room for these alternatives, because these kids, they're here once you have them, unless you choose to take them out, like so many people do. I just believe in people making very conscious choices when it comes to reproduction. I do not think that having kids is a joke. I don't think it should be taken as a joke. I think it's one of the most serious things that anybody can ever do, is to bring forth a soul and to appoint yourself as the caretaker for that soul. We know that I look at human beings as God in the flesh, and I look at souls coming into this world as you're raising a God. And because God is capable of both the light and dark, as the scriptures say, I, your Lord God, do both good and evil. I do both light and darkness. God is capable of heaven and hell, of creating heaven and hell. And we know through history that one consciousness can overturn an entire nation, can change the course of human history. Look at Hitler. Look at Saddam Hussein. Look at all of these public figures, whether they were militant, whether they were dictators, whether they were queens, kings, CEOs. One consciousness can literally change can change the world forever. One. That's the power that's in every single celled organism. And to act like being in charge of a soul is something less than nuclear is wild to me. It's wild to me. It shocks me all the time at how casual and loose people are in just having kids, and just how practical minded people are. For me, it's clearly a very deep thing, and it should be thought of as a very deep thing. Your reproductive system should be thought of as a sacred divine gift, and through it is birth a God. And that this shouldn't be a child's play. It shouldn't be. I know a few people teetering on that nonsense, and they're schizophrenic. Houston banned Raw versus Wade, and these women are becoming unalive in their last trimester. Honey, I ain't for okay. So I read that. Yep. So, sad situation. But Zhanae speaking out is the result of the actions of an absent as father. So that's where the criticism should be for those who have a criticism, is look beyond Zhanae infringing upon what is argued to be Victoria Monet's moment, there would be no Zhanae to be in her feelings if it wasn't for the estranged father. And also, two things can be true at the same time. It's okay for Zhanae to be upset at her dad. And it's also okay for Victoria Monet to want a relationship to her father. It's okay for her to still love her father. It's okay for her to pursue a relationship to him if that's what she's ready for and that's what she wants. Neither women are wrong. But since he has been absent, I just want and hope that Victoria will just be safe and proceed with caution, and even allow this man to earn his relationship to his granddaughter by way of his own actions. I hope that Victoria Monet just doesn't get all fanciful and just gets overzealous and just starts, trying to leave her daughter with the dad and just trying to like create moments to leave them alone together. She needs to sit back and acknowledge, well, I do love my dad, but my dad did not show any interest in raising me and being a part of my life. And if I am going to put him in the direct life of my daughter, he's going to have to earn that for the sake of my daughter's safety as well, emotionally and physically, by acting like he wants that. So I'm going to sit back now that I've given him the opportunity and the space to do it differently, to actually do it differently. I'm not going to project my desires onto a situation that he needs to genuinely and wholeheartedly and sincerely want for himself. So I'm gonna wait to see if he calls me to ask about me or granddaughter. I'm gonna see if he's calling me to ask if he can come over and see her, if I can bring her over. I'm gonna sit back and see how proactive he is now that he's being given the opportunity and being given the floor to be both in my life and in her life. I hope she proceeds with caution, but I am too happy for her. I'm happy that, she got a chance to reconnect, and this has been in her heart, and identity is a big thing for us as humans. And, her getting to see and get to know this other part of herself, I'm happy for her. And I hope that that's the case for the rest of the kids, if that's what's in the best interest of everybody. So that's my commentary, girl, on the Victoria. Did anybody want the link? Did anybody want to come up and sound off on the situation? Because if not, then we are concluded. I don't know if anybody has anything to say, but if you do and you would like to come up and express yourself, this is the time now to make your desires known. And if not, we will call it a night. All right, I think we're clear and complete then. Thumbs up this video, you guys. Share the stream out, please. And I will see you guys later. Oh, and TGIF, honey, thank God it's Friday. Have a safe weekend. Have a great Friday. And I will see y'all all soon. Bye.